All right. Well, we have been talking this morning about this Calgary-based company that has started the first clinical trials of a Canadian-made COVID-19 vaccine. I am now joined by the CEO of Providence Therapeutics, Brad Sorenson. He is in Calgary. Brad, good morning. Glad you could be with us and we could share this news. Tell us about your candidate, what it does, and how soon it might be on the market.
Well, thank you. So we're pleased to announce this morning that we started our clinical trials in phase 1. We've dosed our first 5 volunteers, and we expect to continue to accelerate that phase 1 trial. And if everything goes well, we'll continue through phase 2, phase 3, and by the end of this year, early next year, we'll be rolling out vaccines for Canadians and for anybody else in the world that needs them.
Is your product similar to the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines?
Our product is a messenger RNA vaccine, which is of the same class as the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Obviously, we've got a proprietary design with our vaccine. We look forward to showing that our vaccine is very safe with low side effects, and that our vaccine is very effective at low doses.
Would your vaccine, or is your vaccine, a single-dose product, and does it need to be stored in extreme cold?
Our vaccine is a prime boost, similar to other messenger RNA vaccines. And currently, we've got stability data at -20, and we're looking to have additional data that will allow for standard refrigeration.
Standard refrigeration. So that would make it easier to store and obviously to put in people's arms.
That's true.
So how do you know that you've reached this point, and what's going on right now with Health Canada when it comes to approving the process?
So we've been working very closely with Health Canada in designing our clinical trials, and so as I said, we're in the process of doing that. We're going to be very shortly going through the effort of designing our phase 2, phase 3 clinical trial. And there's challenges. We want to make sure that, so just one of the things that we're dealing with is our peers, sort of the first wave of clinical trials, they ran 40,000 patient placebo-controlled clinical trials. There's an ethical question about us running a large placebo-controlled clinical trial when there's an available vaccine that's out there that the Canadian government is trying to roll out. And we want to make sure that patients have access. And so we're working with the Health Canada to come up with a solution that will allow us to make sure that we're not necessarily putting people on placebo when there's a vaccine that's available. We don't have all the answers right now. We're working with Health Canada, but we're confident that we'll be able to come through with an effective phase 2, phase 3 trial that will speed access to more vaccines and more supply.
Where will your product be produced? Here in Canada?
Yes. So all of the vaccine that was produced for phase 1, and we've produced all of the vaccine that we need for phase 2 already, was produced in Toronto at Sunnybrook Research Institute. And the vaccine that's going to be produced commercially, we anticipate in producing that with a partner in Alberta. So we've got a manufacturing partner in Alberta that's going to produce those vaccines.
And as you watch what's going on with Pfizer and Moderna right now, are you learning any lessons?
We've been learning a whole lot the whole way along. We anticipated that there would be supply challenges. We're not new to messenger RNA. We've been doing messenger RNA since 2015, and there's certain raw materials that are required to make messenger RNA vaccines, and that's common across all of these different vaccine products. That are, to put it in perspective, until December of 2020, there had been no commercially approved messenger RNA drugs in the entire world, vaccines or otherwise. So there wasn't a lot of infrastructure to supply the large mass production that we're seeing being rolled out. And so what we took steps at Providence to do is with our partner, manufacturing partner in Calgary, Northern RNA, they are already making the raw materials that we need for our vaccines. And so we're not going to have the same supply chain constraints that we're seeing others running into. Now, we're scaling up so that we can make, tens of millions and hundreds of millions of doses. Even that, we would have to continue to scale up. And we're working with the Canadian government. There was a press release last week where we got an award from NGen to continue to scale up that manufacturing. And so, yeah, it's just all hands on deck and growing capacity so that we can have security of supply.
And finally, Brad, I have to ask you, how does this feel? Sounds pretty darn exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have 2 teenage daughters, and I'm I'm a bit of a celebrity at home, which doesn't usually happen, and so it's pretty cool. They want to get back to their normal life as well. They're in high school. They want to associate with friends, and they keep complaining, saying, how soon can we get it? So I appreciate that. And yeah, it feels good to be able to help work towards a solution. I mean, I can't emphasize how amazing the team in Toronto, all our employees out there, Natalia Martin-Orozco, our Chief Development Officer, what they've been able to accomplish in under a year. We're not a big company like Moderna. We didn't get $1 billion. What we've done is pretty exceptional.
Well, congratulations. And we look forward to following your product and speaking with you again. And I think your daughters speak for all of us, although we all can't turn to our dads and say, hey, Dad, can you make a vaccine to get us through this? Yeah. So it's pretty neat. Brad Sorenson, appreciate your time with us today. We'll talk to you again for sure.
Thank you. All the best.